Welcome to This Explainer. Listen, if you're picturing a correctional facility as just a giant concrete box with a heavy iron door that simply locks the world away, well, you are missing a much more fascinating reality. Today, we're going to shatter those Hollywood myths and dive deep into the complex, living systems that are actually keeping North Carolina's correctional facilities safe. Because, as we're about to see, true security, it's way less about static concrete and so much more about dynamic, constantly adapting human systems.
Okay, let's jump right in by redefining our core concept right out of the gate. This source material emphasizes that we've got to view safety and security as a daily practice, not just a fixed physical condition. It's not a heavy padlock, it's a vulnerable daily routine that has to constantly adapt to shifting pressures. Think about it. A facility that's perfectly secure on a Tuesday could face entirely new vulnerabilities on a Wednesday, maybe because of a sudden staffing shortage, a localized weather event, or a random medical emergency.
Section 1. Beyond locks and fences.
To really grasp how this works in real time, you kind of have to think about modern security through a Swiss cheese analogy. Every single security measure we have, the perimeter controls, the access logs, the contraband screening, it's all like a slice of Swiss cheese. Every slice has holes in it, right? Because absolutely no single security measure is completely perfect. But when you stack all those slices together, the holes don't align. So if one layer fails, like a door lock unexpectedly jamming, another layer, like an officer's routine observation round, is right there to catch the problem before it ever has a chance to escalate. They all have to work perfectly together.
Let's walk through what this actually looks like in practice. Say someone is entering a facility. It's a precise sequence of distinct procedural steps. You don't just walk through a metal detector and call it a day. You start out at the perimeter. Then you move into verified access control, where they're checking IDs and movement logs. Then you execute physical contraband searches. And finally, even once you're inside, you are subject to constant surveillance. It's this continuous, overlapping workflow that demands absolute precision at literally every single stage.
Moving on to Section 2, North Carolina's curveballs.
Now, this part really blew my mind. We have to look at the massive contrast between the state's facilities. On one hand, county jails face the sheer chaos of rapid, daily turnover. They are constantly dealing with short-term detention and massive intake demands straight from the streets. But on the flip side, state prisons manage a completely different beast: the slow, complex burn of long-term populations. They require highly specialized classification and distinct programming. We're talking about totally different operational environments here, yet they both have to maintain that exact same layered security model we just talked about.
And then you've got the buildings themselves. A lot of these facilities operate in older buildings where aging infrastructure literally creates physical blind spots and weak sightlines. That severely limits camera coverage. But it goes way beyond just visibility. Imagine a 30-year-old HVAC system completely dying in the middle of a sweltering North Carolina July. That extreme heat directly impacts behavior and health, pretty much guaranteeing unrest. Or think about outdated plumbing completely failing during a storm. Sometimes the building itself is the biggest security threat they face.
Oh, and speaking of storms, North Carolina's varied climate means severe weather is just a massive operational hurdle. When a hurricane is brewing out in the Atlantic, the protocol shifts rapidly into pure survival mode. 48 hours out, it's a frantic scramble to test generators and prep essential supplies. When the storm actually hits, facilities face the very real threat of power loss and severe flooding. And in the aftermath, administrators are out there balancing the need for secure containment with critical evacuation realities and severe supply chain interruptions. Mother Nature simply does not care about standard operating procedures.
Which brings us to Section 3, the human element, staffing and standards.
Because honestly, all those tall fences, high-tech cameras, and backup generators, they mean absolutely nothing without the people running them. The source material makes this incredibly clear. Even small staffing gaps have outsized effects on safety. When staffing levels face pressure, officers are stretched incredibly thin. And this isn't just about overworking employees. It directly increases the risk of violence and delays emergency responses simply because there are fewer eyes on the ground. When staff are rushed, they just have less time for critical observation rounds, thorough searches, and most importantly, the careful de-escalation of tense situations.
So it makes total sense that modern officers need far, far more than just basic custody skills. Rigorous training in de-escalation, effective communication, and mental health awareness is exactly what dictates whether a facility operates proactively or reactively. Staff have to be completely prepared to respond to a life-threatening medical emergency one minute and gracefully navigate really complex use-of-force policies the next. Strong, continuous training is quite literally the only thing that helps staff make sound decisions under immense pressure, protecting everyone inside those walls.
Section 4. Technology versus human judgment.
Now, hearing about all those immense human pressures, you're probably wondering, hey, can't we just automate our way out of this? Well, it's true that facilities are investing heavily in tech to combat evolving threats. For example, a massive growing concern right now in North Carolina is the smuggling of contraband cell phones. These devices allow incarcerated individuals to coordinate threats or facilitate criminal activity on the outside. Fighting that actually requires sophisticated, layered digital detection strategies, advanced body scanners, and integrated digital records. So yes, technology is absolutely essential in this fight.
But there's a huge caveat here. The source material insists on one core rule. Technology should not replace human judgment. A camera is a phenomenal tool, for sure, but it can only record an incident. It cannot step in and break up a physical fight in the yard. A digital log is great, but it cannot verbally de-escalate a mental health crisis. The absolute best security systems perfectly combine that cutting-edge technology with active supervision and incredibly strong human leadership.
Let's pivot to Section 5. Healthcare is security. This might actually be the most surprising part of this entire explainer. Far beyond the locked doors and the barbed wire, treating an inmate's severe substance withdrawal or mental health crisis is actually a primary preventative security measure. Untreated conditions quickly lead to disruption, self-harm, and victimization. A person experiencing a severe mental health crisis can throw an entire housing block into total chaos in seconds. Therefore, maintaining health isn't just a basic act of medical care, it is absolutely required to maintain overall facility order. Healthcare is security.
The most secure facilities out there seamlessly connect their custody procedures directly with their healthcare operations. It starts right away with identifying risks during the initial intake screening, moving swiftly to timely referrals, and ensuring continuous medication to prevent severe withdrawal. And it culminates in active cross-team coordination. When the guards and the medical personnel are continuously communicating and working together, that synergy is the real glue holding the entire system together and keeping incidents low.
Section 6. The balanced path forward. So after breaking down all these massive complexities, what does a path forward actually look like? Well, the overarching theme here is balance. A secure future definitely isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Facilities need to maintain adequate staffing to reduce widespread burnout. They need to invest in smarter, modern design to completely eliminate those dangerous physical blind spots we talked about. They absolutely must prioritize that vital communication between the custody and medical teams, rigorously update those emergency storm plans, and implement scenario-based training. You literally can't just pick one of these to fix. They are entirely interdependent.
Because as public expectations and modern risks continue to evolve at lightning speed, we're left with a highly critical question. Are we building facilities just to contain people, or are we building living systems designed to safely adapt? Correctional safety is a living, breathing ecosystem that never sleeps. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning the complex systems around you, and I'll see you next time.